So those of us who have tried to learn anything on guitar by following teachers online know what it's like to follow along. Maybe you want to pause it, or you want to rewind it, or maybe you want to skip this part. And every time that happens, you have to take your hands off the guitar, find your mouse, get the cursor, go to the thing on YouTube, get that finicky little slider where you want it to be, then put your hands back on the guitar and resume where you were. It definitely is a buzzkill when you're in the groove. Now, here is a magical solution I want to share with you. So this is called the Vidami Blue. It is a YouTube looper. It is hands-free, it's wireless, right? It connects to your device via Bluetooth. And what you do is you keep this on the ground underneath where your feet would be. You're able to play, pause, skip backwards, skip forwards, change the speed of something, and even set up in and out points for looping, all with your feet and all while your hands can stay then on the guitar, right? So this is a tremendous way to get a lot more mileage out of your practice. So let me show you some of the features here, and I'll show you in real time and you'll get an idea of what this thing can do. And stay tuned because I have a promotional discount code you can use to get 10% off on this if you want to pick one up yourself. All right, so let's dive on in. I'm gonna start with basic playback controls here. So I have a video on YouTube. I'm gonna hit this bottom middle button once, and it's gonna play it, right? This is a play pause button. It's sort of like a toggle, like your space bar on the keyboard, right? So tapping it will pause it, tapping it again will play the video, right? And you guessed it, these two buttons, back and forward, are going to seek forward or backwards by 5-second increments, all right? So I can hit play, watch it, go forward a few times. I could really just jam it, right? It's not gonna get hung up, it's not gonna break. Likewise, you can sort of hit the back button a bunch and go backwards. If I wanna go to the beginning of the video, I just tap and hold back. It starts it over again. Say I want to jump ahead to a few minutes. I just tap and hold forward, and it's going to seek really quickly. I can sort of take my foot off, wait, and
stop, and all the walk up and walk.
And we're in good shape, okay? So that's basic playback, right? It's just, again, I have this thing under my desk. Anything that's on YouTube that I'm watching, my foot knows if I want to play or pause it, I just do this. And I can keep my hand on my guitar. I never have to mess with the keyboard or mouse at all. Now, I want to talk about looping and speed controls here. So in the top left, you're going to see a speed button. In the top right, you're going to see a loop button. So the way that speed works is effectively tapping it once will go through these speed presets. So I have it 90% right now, 80%, 70%. And if I was to play it, I'll be sitting when the it's a great way to practice along with something slower. And if I hit it again, it's gonna cycle back to 100, right? So everything on YouTube is gonna work with the Vidami pedal, but there's also over 55 compatible platforms where it'll work also. So my website is included on that. So if you're on songnotes.net, any of the videos that are embedded on my page, whether it's a YouTube video or a Vimeo lesson, right, for one of my premium courses, they're gonna work with Vidami as well. And it also works with jam tracks, right? So I have this jam track here for sitting on the dock of the bay. It's a good thing to practice, right? But say I want to slow it down, I can just hit speed, make it a little bit slower, right? I can practice. Okay, I'll pause it there. So I do with my jam tracks make slower versions sometimes, like with this song, I have one at 104 and one at 96 beats per minute, but sometimes you want that fine tuning for your practicing, right? I can't make a jam track for every different tempo, but what you can do is just change the speed and it's gonna take it slower for you. So next let me talk about looping. Looping is a really effective way to practice because it takes a certain part of the video and it'll just repeat that part over and over again, okay? So say in this part, I wanna work on the walk down between C and A, okay? So I'll be sitting when the evening comes. So what I did there is I pushed the loop once to set loop in. I waited until I wanted it to end, and I hit it again for loop out. And now it's just going to repeat what I just did. Now I can practice this walk down. Maybe I want to slow it down though. I can. I just hit speed. Go down to 80%, hit play. It's gonna keep my loop. Okay, one more time. Sounds good, I'm done with my loop. Now to get rid of my loop, all I have to do is hold down the play pause button, and it resets it back to normal. And I'm rolling along like normal. So in addition to the playback mode that I showed you for the videos, for the jam tracks, right, there's these other modes you can use the Vidami pedal for. So let me show you a few of them now, right? One of them is the page turner mode. To get to page turn mode, I just hold down the loop and back button, then I hit play. That's going to cause the light to blink 3 times, and I know I'm in that mode. So now I have a PDF up in my preview app on the Mac, right? And I can change page. I'm going to do that by hitting the top left and top right buttons. So as I hit the top right, I'm going to go forward, through pages. And I hit the top left, which is loop. I go back in pages. So that's a great way to change the page. Now, what about scrolling? Well, I can just sort of use the forward button to scroll incrementally, right? So that way, as I'm playing, I can effectively control what I'm looking at. And then as I get down to that verse, right, I can get to the bridge and to the final verse and be in good shape. And maybe I want to jump to the next page, scroll right there, or maybe I want to race back to the beginning. I can just hit, the previous page thing. So the page turning thing, very cool feature that exists for you there. And the final feature that I want to tell you about is the DAW control, right? The audio workstation control. So whether you're using GarageBand, Logic, any of these applications, there's going to be different functions you get from the Vidami pedal, right? So again, it extends what you want to do. You're not always having to use a keyboard and a mouse. You can sort of focus on what you care about, and this effectively becomes a sort of another way you can control things that you start to internalize over time. And again, Vidami has great documentation on all of these if you want to use these modes as well. So it's all available for you. So I want to thank you all for watching, and if you're curious on picking up one of these, use the link in the description of this video, right? It lets Vidami know that you heard it from me, which is great for them to know, and it also helps me out as well. And plus, there's a discount code in there. You save 10%, right? So that's in the description of this video. You can apply that when you're purchasing your Vidami loop pedal, and you'll be in good shape. Again, I use this every day. I would not be recommending it on this channel if I didn't. And again, all the other supported platforms that are on Vidami's website, in addition to just youtube.com, you can use this anywhere there, and it's really an invaluable tool. So I'm so happy I know about it, and now that I have one. So check it out, use the link in the description, and thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.